So the answers for the shark bite, and then kind of talk through them as well. If you have any questions, number one, you were subtracting and multiplying with your operations, but anytime you see the word less than, you need to take whatever's in front and move it to the back. I call that a turnaround phrase. 4x minus 6, you should have chosen another variable, but I chose x. For number 2, you need to cross multiply and then distribute by the terms or most terms to be the side. You can end up with a fraction or decimal. I don't have that decimal up here, but if you divide that, 55 over 13, what's your answer? And then number 3, you need to put both values in for x and y. This was a cube root, not negative power. With these parentheses, if you continue to put parentheses around, that's show the separate. The cube root of 125 is 5. The negative 4 times 5 is negative 3. Add those together, make it negative 16. Have questions on any of those 3? On the back, number 4, you needed to solve. Number 5 was the simplifying. So 4, when you multiplied or distributed and then combined the terms and solve for x, you should have gotten 20. And after you distributed and combined like terms for number 5, 30x minus 51. Do we have questions on any of those? I just distributed the brackets, so I multiplied across negative 1 times 4, 8 times 5, negative 1 times negative 24, and then divided by 8. Or you can 8 times 1 and then divide it. Other questions on those?
On the words, the language, I'd like to know the English words. Solve means you're trying to get the exact answer. Simplify. If you forget what those words mean, simplifying the expression when you're not actually finding the answer. Try to think of a way to remember how you can do that. Allow them to look it up on their phone or their laptop if they meaning of a word.
Well, the next test, I don't think it says like the last. But I would say just okay, so I know so So we're gonna continue on this from last class, and then we're gonna start on the but I feel like I said this. I'm just gonna reiterate so we're all on the same page. If you need to make up a test, you have questions about anything, you need to go over something, any of those things. I'll be after school today. I will not be after school tomorrow or Friday. I will not be here Friday. So there will be an announcement posted on Canvas Friday morning as to what you should be working on in class. Mr. Northup will still be here. The sub will know everything you guys are working on as well. But, and you can always email me. I may or may not have access to my computer at that time. But I won't be here Friday. So you can come get help today or tomorrow morning, but not after school tomorrow or at all on Friday. And I won't be here on Friday. Just keep those things in your mind. Refresh my memory. We went through these, and you had time to practice. And then we started this page. Yes, we finished this to some extent. I know we went through some examples. I didn't go over the other examples, so if you wanted to see those really quickly, I can pull those up. Just to show you that they match, or that yours should match. The bottom two, we didn't write down the equations. They are there or in Canvas, but we're not really going to go over that part today. We'll come back to that when we go over writing equations. But we're going to do this page where it says standard form. So when these are written in standard form looks something like this. AX plus BY equals C, where A is usually your slope unless you have a number in front of Y, because then that's going to change it. C is usually that constant of your y-intercept unless you have a number in front of Y, because that'll change it. But when it's in this format, we need to get it out of this format. So when we were doing literal equations and we had equations that look like this, that was practice for this. So we're going to be converting each of these to slope-intercept form, that y equals mx plus b. Every single time we're going to be solving for y. So for number one, if I need to solve for y, I need to get the x term completely away from it. How would I do that? Get rid of that x term. So it's already equal. I'm trying to somehow move this over here, but I can't just move it. I need to add or subtract it. So subtract it. Subtract it to the other side. 3 and negative 2x are not like terms, so I'm not combining them. I'm just moving it over there. There is no number in front of y, so there's nothing else I need to simplify or solve. But I am going to switch the order of this because it's not in mx plus b format. So when you do that, make sure whatever sign it was stays the same. Negative 2x plus 3. From there, I can see that my slope is negative 2. And my y-intercept, remember that the variable of b is 3.
Guys, just a linear just means line. That's a line going to go through the y-axis. And you see that intercept again. It's a line that's going to go through the y-axis at some point. In this case, the point is what? What's the point? What is the intercept on the y-axis? Where's it going to go through the y-axis? What number? Like -2 is where it's going to go through the y-axis. It's a line. Some people can visualize and look at that equation and they can see the line. Just like if I said, I hope you don't mind it. If I said Big Mac, if I wrote Big Mac out, some of you can probably in your head see a Big Mac. You can picture it. Well, that's the same. That's an algebra way of saying the line, but in your head, some people can see. Maybe you can see the line in your head.
Number 2, we'll do this one and then I'll let you guys go. We're going to start it the same way. We have this x term we need to get rid of, so we're going to subtract it to the other side. I'm going to go ahead and switch the order of the x term in the 30 because it's already in that form or almost. But right now, y is not by itself. How would I get it by itself, Toby? Divide everything by 5. So instead of, like we were doing before, putting 5 here and making this one big fraction, we still need to be able to see what is that slope, what is that y-intercept. So this becomes the fraction -4/5 x minus 6, where our m or slope is -4/5 and our b or y-intercept is -6. We're going to do a couple more of these examples when we get back from lunch, and then I'll let you practice them, and then we'll move on to the graphing. Alright, let's jump to number 3. Same process, we're trying to get y by itself. So we would subtract to the other side. I went ahead and I switched the order. And now we need to divide, but we're going to divide by this -3 to everything. So be careful because there's signs and everything. Most likely. So you have 2 negatives that become a positive. This is really -1x, so that becomes positive 1/3 x. Or just x over 3, either of those is fine. 12 over -3 becomes -4. So our slope is 1/3. Our y-intercept is -4. Thank you, that's really fast. Okay. So questions on number 3. And we are going to sit down for 5. Number 5, same thing. We need to move our 4x to the side by subtracting. Because we're subtracting 0, you can put 0, negative 4x plus 0, but you don't need it. There is a 1 in front of the y. So when I'm dividing both sides, that's what I'm dividing by. Negative 1 to both. We get positive 4x. So our m would be 4, our y-intercept would be 0. The only time we don't start off with subtracting the x first is if the x term is already negative. So like in number 7, it's already negative, so you would add it to the exponent first instead of subtracting. I'm going to give you the next 5 to 8 minutes to finish those remaining 4. Number 4, 6, 7, and 8, and then we'll go over them, and then move forward. So you have until I'll check in 5 minutes and see where you are, and go from there. You have this time to work. So the answers to number 4, 6, 7, and 8 are up here. 4 was x plus 8, the equation y equals x plus 8, where your slope is 1, y-intercept is 8. 6 was y equals 3 halves, or 3 over 2, x plus 7. 7 was y equals 3 over 2x plus 5. And then 8 was negative 1/5 x minus 3.
If you put in your calculator 6 divided by 4 and got 1.5x,
So I should leave it as a fraction.
that would work too. Put it as a fraction, but it's a decimal.
But you could do not. Like if you're doing this at home and you get a decimal, in decimals you can put decimals into decimals and convert it. You can't do that with those calculators. So I would say leave it as a fraction and put it in as a fraction. I can show you how to do that really fast. Maybe. I don't know if this thing works or if you are on your home screen in your calculator and you go into alpha, so the green button, and then y equals, you'll get this menu. You're looking for the n over d. That is your fraction. It'll give you a fraction bar. And then when you put in improper fractions, so let's say I put in 15, 6, it will simplify it for you as a fraction. But if I just put 15 divided by 6, it would give me a decimal. Other questions on any of those before we start the graphing notes? I'm going to unplug my computer for 1 second. Alright, so your graphing notes should look like this. When you are graphing, if you are given an equation in slope-intercept form, there's really no work you need to do except plot your y-intercept, plot your slope, all the way across. If the equation they give you is not in slope-intercept form, you'll need to convert it first, and then over. So for number 1, I would say you can write it off to the side. It might help you identify it a little bit better. What your slope and y-intercept is are. For this, your slope is -1. And when we're trying to put it on a graph, we have to remember that slope is always a fraction or ratio. Rise over 1. So we want this as a fraction. So I'm going to rewrite it as -1 over 1. And when I have it in that fraction form, I know it needs to be negative, so I can think back to my directions, which ones would make it negative. If I went down and to the right, that would make it negative. But I could also switch this and say go up 1 and left 1 to make that a -1. And my y-intercept is at 3. So I'm going to start with my y-intercept, plot that along my y-axis. So my y is 3, put 1 there on the y-axis. And then because I know my slope is -1, 1, from that point, I'm going to go up 1, left 1, as many times as I can, and put a dot every time I go up 1, left 1. Once I run out of space, I'm going to go back to my y-intercept and go down 1, right 1, as many times as possible until I run out of space. Once I run out of space in both directions, I can connect it off to make a box. If you want a ruler to make your line really straight, I have some in the colored full cart. Do you have any questions on number 1? For number 2, same thing. Our y-intercept here is -4, so that's where I'm going to start at -4. Our slope here is 3, but I want it as a fraction, so I'm going to say our slope is really 3 over 1. It needs to be positive, so the directions I'm going to go to make it positive, I can go up 3 into the right 1, or I can go down 3 into the left 1. On this graph, I can't go down 3, so I'm only going to go up and right as many times as possible. Once I run out of space, connect those up.
fraction is like down 3 over 1. Those would both be negative. That would be down negative 3 over negative 1. That's how you get the positive 3 slope. You got a negative 3y, and then you got a negative 1 for x. So that's a positive 3. So even though the quadrants in are both negative, it's still a positive slope. The y value is negative, the x value is negative, but negative divided by a negative is a positive, so that's why it's still a positive slope.
Number 4 is already in a fraction form. We don't have to put it in the fraction form, but don't let that confuse you. It's actually kind of easier when it's in fraction form because you have a rise and a run. It's not like having to remember. So for this, our y-intercept is 1. Our slope is negative 3/4. And yes, I wrote it with the 3 as being negative, but the negative was up front. It doesn't matter. When you make it negative, just one of them needs to be negative, not both. So I could go down 3 into right 4, or I could go up 3 into the left 4. Left is still negative, so that will still work. So I can plot a point at positive 1. And then for my slope, follow that. So go down 3 and right 4. Go up 3 and left 4. You're only able to go each one once, but then you can connect those dots. We're going to do one more together, then I'll let you connect some of these. So go on to number 9. What is my y-intercept at 9? So it doesn't say it, but it's there. So my point is going to be at the origin. My slope is at positive 4, or 4 over 1. So I can go up 4 and right 1, or down 4 and left 1. They connect those dots. Any questions on graph from slope-intercept form?
So in the equation, how do you get x and y to plot it on the graph?
You mean like 10 and 11?
Just like in general, how do you plot it onto the graph?
The number in front of x is your m. We're not looking for like x-intercept, we're looking for that slope. The y-intercept is given to you. So whatever that is, that point is going to cross your y-axis. And then from that point, you're going to use your slope to plot. You're randomly putting points on the graph from your slope. I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and maybe I need to take along to do the remaining 5 problems. So 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this. For answers, you find it like Fred Green's and not be able to see the points real well. Number 3 should have been this positive line. Number 5 should have also been a positive line. Make sure you're drawing arrows. I don't think I said that earlier. Make sure you're drawing arrows on these lines. Number 6 was a negative line. 7 was a positive line. 8 was a negative line. Do we have questions on hold off on that? Go over this. So 10 and 11, those examples are in standard form. So before we do anything else, we need to convert them to slope-intercept and then graph them. So for number 10, we would convert it or give y by itself by first subtracting x on the side. I'm going to switch the order of these two so it's already in slope-intercept form. And then divide everything by 2. You're going to get y equals, you can either leave this as negative x over 2 or make it negative 1 half x, those are the same thing, plus 2. Once it's in slope-intercept form, you have slope, you have your y-intercept, you can graph them. So start at positive 2 on your y-axis. Your slope is negative, so you can go up 1 and left 2 as many times as possible. Or you can go down 1 and right 2 as many times as possible. And then connect those dots. The process is not really harder when you're converting, it's just more work. I'd say the hardest thing about these are making sure you're going in the right direction with your slope. For 11, same thing, get rid of your x term by subtracting. Move it to the other side. Left one, I'm going to switch these negative 3x minus 6 on the right. And divide everything by negative 2. So your signs are going to change when you divide by this negative. You're going to get positive y equals positive 3 over 2 plus 3. Your 3 is your y-intercept, and 3 halves, 3 over 2 is your slope. It is a positive slope, so you're going to go up or up and right, or down and left. start at that y-intercept of 3. There's this random black dot. I think it's on the computer, but ignore that. In this case, I can't really go up 3 dots. I added another big line, which in this case, that's fine. If you had to go like up 5 and you didn't have all of those, I would keep going that way. But if you wanted to add one more big line right here, you could. Instead, I'm going to go down 3 and up 2 as many times as possible. Do we have any questions on how to go from standard to slope-intercept and then graph it? The remainder of class, you'll have this time to practice this page. Go through as many as you can. Raise your hand if you wanted to check it. We'll just go around. I'm just going to repeat this. So on Friday, see the campus education and do that work. Homework-wise, you have 2 sets of math. One is on one says part 1, and that's slope from a graph, and slope from 2 points. That's all part 1. And then slope part 2 is the converting stuff we were doing today. Both of those are due next class. I mean, they're due next class, but I won't be here. You can do them up until next week. You have 3 academies on slope. One is slope from a graph. One is slope from 2 points. One is slope intercept interest. That's like when we had the slope and y-intercept and it asked which one was which, or writing equation or things like that. Right now, I don't believe there are teams duties for graphing, Khan Academy, or Delta Math, so I'm going to leave them as is. Whatever they say on campus, the calendar as is, but you can work on them Friday and over the weekend. If you have the rest of class to work, let me